Hello, today we're going to be making some tassels for my daughter's little bicycle. So what I'm looking for is I have these aglets for shoelaces that I think are going to be the perfect size for the end of the tassel to fit in the little hole on the handlebars of the bike. So I'm just putting it in to see if it's gonna work, and it looks like it's gonna work perfectly. So she wanted me to use pink and purple, so I'm gonna use two types of pink because it's her favorite color. And then I have this piece of cardboard here that I'm gonna use, and you can use any piece of cardboard that's the right length for your tassels. You can see this is the first tassel I already finished. So now there's where the aglet is, and I'm just gonna show you exactly how I made this for the second one. So you're gonna want to take your cardboard and your yarn, and I pull my yarn on the back side first and I wrap it around the front side, and every time I wrap it around the front side I count it as one wraparound. So I'm going to do 10 wraparounds of each color. 2, 3, and I'm just going to keep wrapping around until I've wrapped it around 10 times, and then I'm going to go cut it at the end where it started, the same end right there. And now I'm going to start with my next color. I'm just going to keep my first color still there. I'm just going to do this all together. So same thing, going to wrap around 10 times. And I'm going to make sure I hold all my ends of my yarn together at the end so it doesn't get bunched up in there. And I'm going to take my third color and I'm going to do the same thing, wrap around 10 times. So now that I have them all on there, I'm going to be really careful and I'm just going to slide them all off. And try to hold the shape when I get it off. I want to make sure they don't come apart at the top, so I hold it really tight at the top there. The top is going to be the part that doesn't have the cut end, so all of this yarn is together, and at the bottom here with the cut ends we're going to make a cut and cut all those threads at the bottom. And I like to take this long piece of yarn, just one piece, just so I don't have to cut an extra piece. I'll take that one out and I will tie together at the top, right in the middle, tie a tight knot, and I like to double knot, triple knot, just so it's really good and it's not going to come apart. And then I'm gonna put that tied end on the inside. I'm going to turn it around and put it to where that knot is on the inside of the threads. And I'm going to tie another knot around the entire thing, making a little bubble at the top. Again, I'm going to do like a double, triple knot here just to make sure it's really tight and it's not going to come untied. I'm just tying them all together. Straighten it out a little bit. So here I'm going to look at the first one I made and try to make it the same as I did the first one. So I'm going to, I think I wrapped the yarn around like 5 times. So I'm going to take this strand and bring it up to the top, and I'm going to wrap around that strand, making sure that strand's up at the top, and wrap around really tight as I'm going. I'm pulling really tight, and I'm just going to wrap it around. And when I'm done wrapping around, I grab that tail that I put up at the top, and I'm going to tie a few knots here, making sure it's really tight. So here I'm going to cut the yarn so it's the same length on both sides so that it's easier for me to get my needle on. And I go through the top and out through the bottom, just so that knot's kind of hidden in there a little bit. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just cut the excess off. And now I'm going to work on the top piece. So for this piece, I'm going to take a piece of yarn, and this is where I'm going to crochet a little bit. So I'm going to chain 14. And cut it off. And I'm gonna put it on the needle so I can get it through, and I'm gonna stick it through the middle, right where that knot is tied through, holding the pieces together, to make sure I get right in the middle. And then I'm gonna take it together and tie a knot. And then this is where the aglet comes in. So I got these aglets off Amazon. They were like $6 for like 50 of them. So they're made for shoelaces, but I just thought they'd be perfect for this project. And I just slide it in at the top here, and I pull it all the way through as far as I can. And this is where I take my pliers and I clamp it down so it's tight and it stays in there. I use my scissors here to kind of push it in and make sure it's all the way in, and then clamp it all the way. So I pulled on it to see if it's tight in there, and it needed to be clamped down a little bit more. And now that it's tight on there, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut off the rest of the thread at the end. Now I'm going to brush it out a little bit to make sure all the threads are straight, so that way I can give it a little trim. Just to make sure they're all even. And there they are. Now we can see how they look on the bike.
I want that on. Okay, Mommy?
Okay, put them back on.
Put back on, put back on, put back on, put back on, and on.
So there they are. Thanks for watching this video. If you like it, leave a like and comment. Thanks for watching. Bye.